Welcome to the car, guys, and welcome to the Mercedes AMG GT63S. I'm here with Jonathan from the Edinburgh Watch Company. We're going to put this car through its paces on some twisty Scottish B roads.
Give you something special for your trip all the way up to Scotland?
Absolutely. So we're here in Scotland to talk cars, we're here to talk watches, and this is the brand new four-door GTR equivalent. So this is the 639 brake horsepower four-door monster from Mercedes.
What's first impressions?
Well, first impressions is it's very loud. So we're in sports mode and the car is dominated by that throbbing V8 engine. I have to say, it's a really nice cabin, isn't it? I mean, look at it.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Had a few AMGs myself through the years. Most recently had the C63S, which I think is the same sort of engine as this one, isn't it? With a bit more power in it.
Yeah. I'm quite a big fan of the sort of two-door version, the GTR, especially in that sort of matte green hell colour that it came in. I've never been as big a fan of the four-door. The four-door, for me, I couldn't work out why it was necessary given the number of four-door cars in the Mercedes range. I couldn't see why they would dilute the sort of GT brand with a four-door. I
mean, that GTR in itself, I've seen a few of them out at the ring pacing around, and the car's absolutely awesome. I think they're trying to get to that RS6 market, aren't they? Right. So you've got, I guess, for that one car guy who may just want something very special they're going to jump into every day, they've got family, they need a bit of space, they may want to use it for work. I bought an RS6 last year, ran it for a year, and...
So did I.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah, great minds think alike. What a car that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. What do you think of the new one?
Love it. I have to say I'm thinking about it.
I mean, we are surrounded by piano wood, beautiful polished sort of metal effect. The controls here, this is an excellent area, so your hand falls naturally down to these controls which control your stop start, which obviously you have to turn off. You've then also got things like the rear spoiler, the noisy exhaust, you've got the settings, you have the driving modes, so that's your comfort, your individual, your sport plus, and you've got individual suspension settings and of course traction control off. But it's a really remarkably glorious interior. You've got these air vents in the dash which they just look like black holes. It's like we're being sucked into eternity. It is proper space age here. Digital dials, big old central screen here which we've got showing the current level of horsepower and torque. There's a challenge there for getting the highest numbers possible. We're currently using 652 of our 639 horsepower. Yep. And we're only using 70 to 80 Newton meters. So I think Jonathan, you're right. We need to sort of open this thing up.
The dealership, Western Mercedes, who very kindly lent us this car, actually has a tracker on this car when they give it out to people. So this sounds much.
Oh, it's got a good noise, isn't it? It's good noise to it. Yeah.
We need to have a wrist check, don't we?
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
Because Jonathan is from the Edinburgh Watch Company, yes. A place where I've bought some watches in the past and will in the future.
Thank you.
I think you're right. I think it's time for a wristwatch check. So what have you got on your wrist, Jonathan?
So I am wearing a Rolex Yachtmaster today, which is an absolutely gorgeous watch. This one came in the other day, which is the classic stainless steel Yachtmaster in 40mm.
Blue face though.
It's blue face.
And you've very cleverly matched it with...
Yeah, well, I put the rubber B strap on it. I think it really pulls the blue out of the watch, and size-wise for me, I think 40mm is a really good size, and I think with the red second hand going around it. So yeah, we're both wearing rubber strap watches. So obviously we like a bit of rubber. And we're talking tyres, of course, there.
Of course. I am wearing my brand new travel time. So this is the Aquanaut 5164A travel time. It is supremely elegant, very simple, timeless, and I honestly do think that if I only had to have one watch, which hopefully will never happen, but if it is,
I'll add to that as well.
exactly, if that happens, I think this is the one.
When I first started off, which was about 5 years ago,
Yeah,
which is actually one of the reasons why you came up, wasn't
almost exactly 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where do you get your watches now from? Is it from,
I buy them from the general public.
so from people, clients that you've
Yeah.
dealt with, like that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, most of my business actually comes from repeat business, which is great. And these could be unworn. They could be watches that people have bought from investments. There's normally a good reason why someone sells a watch. They normally want you to use that money for something else. I guess a lot of the watches we do are Rolex. So dare I say bread and butter? But a lot of watches we do are that. But I'd get bored if my life was just all about Rolex.
Yep.
And so we have Breitling, Omega, Cartier, Patek, Panerai, basically just gorgeous watches. I turned down about 7 out of 10 watches.
Should we have a little bit of beans?
Yeah, okay.
Let's get some beans going
Okay,
here.
let's
Ready?
do it.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, and we've got lovely fin action in the rear view mirror as well. So the wing is at its maximum level of attack to keep us on the road, which is nice.
Pretty good, 69 miles an hour. How do you actually manage to keep it under 70?
It's amazing, isn't it? The revs would suggest we were going far faster than that,
Absolutely.
but you
It's an
know.
illusion. But this road's absolutely great, so go and drive with care, caution, whatever. You know, I've actually been looking for grab handles and there's none of them here, so I've got a lovely wheel handle on the left hand side I'm holding on to.
I mean, don't be worried that I literally have no idea what this road is like. I
Okay.
mean, it could go anywhere. Just squeezing the throttle because it's quite damp, and we have got 639 brake horsepower.
Yep.
So I'm being a little bit cautious. I don't really want to pitch this matte blue missile into a stone wall or a lock.
Well, I've just got the spec sheet here in front of me. We've got lots of toys on this.
Oh, yes.
I think it's roughly about 130 grand.
Okay. So that's quite a lot of money.
We were debating whose insurance is going to be on, but I think it's on yours. So it's got four-wheel drive, which is rather nice for this weather. Using a paddle shift, are you?
Yeah.
But we've got a performance exhaust. Have we got that turned on?
I think, hang on a minute. Oh, actually, so it's interesting. We've actually got a selector for the driving modes, both on the left here on the center console, but also on the steering wheel, just the same as Porsche. So at the moment, just for going through those bits, we were on comfort, but let's now move that to sport before going to the tsunami that is Sport Plus. So now we're in sport mode, and as you can see, it's stiffened up the suspension a little bit. It's made the exhaust a little bit noisier, and it's a bit more AMG-ish.
And I've got lots of buttons on my side as well. I'm just wondering whether one of these buttons is like a restrictor button, the sort of thing for when your wife's beside you and you're going too hard and they can just push the button and slow you down.
No such luck.
No such luck on this.
You've got
one,
stop, start, off. You've got raising the rear spoiler to make it look even cooler, and you've got noisy exhaust. So no, your buttons, if anything, they only enhance the fun.
So we talked about the Nürburgring. 7 minutes 25.41 seconds.
Well, that's what this car does.
Yeah.
Blimey.
That's impressive, isn't it?
For a four-door.
For a big car.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah. At 196 mile an hour.
Is it? 196 mile an hour for this? Wow. Well, to be honest, it does feel like it could do it. I mean, there's no doubt with the amount of power that we're feeling here. And actually, given the size of it, rear legroom is really, really good. Got no complaints there. The roof does come down quite sharply, but having sat in the back, it does seem to offer quite a lot of rear accommodation.
Watches and cars. I mean, now with what, roughly 40,000 viewers, subscribers to your channel here, and you have recently, although you've not gone big on the launch, you've got the Watch Guys TV as well. So what do you see happening there?
The Watch Guys is a way to talk about my watch collection. I want to sort of like go through all the stories with those watches, and again, it's an excuse for Jason and I to witter on talking nonsense, but about watches instead of cars. Like many people, I started in Rolex, but then I sort of moved on to Patek, but along the way there's been many things. Anything that looks good that gets in the collection, and there's some seriously weird things in there.
You very kindly added one of those watches to your collection, which I think the first one you got for me was the Audemars Piguet, wasn't it?
That's right, the offshore diver.
Yeah, how are you enjoying that?
Absolutely love it. I mean, the blue and the yellow, there's something about, for men, blue and yellow and blue and orange is just a thing for men with watches, and we can't, it's like catnip, we just can't resist it. And so, I mean, it's lovely and chunky, it's the right sort of size for my wrists, and it's the only AP that I own, and sort of the only one that I'm interested in. It's just incredible that that was on my wish list, and then right about the time, if you remember, I was going to pop over, wasn't I? When I was up in Scotland with the 458 Aperta, I was going to pop in. So I had it in a mental note to come up and see you, and then lo and behold, that exact watch that I wanted appeared on your website.
Now, you know a good salesman always listens to the words of their customers. And then you can probably see my brain working away here.
What have I done now?
You mentioned the words blue and orange.
Yes.
Funnily enough, we have got something blue and orange to show you later on.
Oh no.
We have been able to get the Michael Phelps Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean.
Really?
Which is a really, really exciting. They brought out this most stunning watch to commemorate his success.
Wow.
And I think they made 280 of them.
Oh, it's limited as well.
It's limited, which you don't like limited, do you?
Ticking all the boxes now, aren't we?
So anyhow, that one might be one travelling down south today, so we'll see how you like it. But,
and obviously if you buy two, you get one free, yeah?
We're going to have to cut that bit out of the video. That's good, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good old noise.
That's a lot better noise than talking about a Rolex waitlist, isn't it?
So I have to say, I mean, this is a pretty impressive car. Far better than I thought, and it kind of makes me want to maybe look at the GTR a second time. Which is the point where you literally get completely scared. Is it now, or is it now? Is it now?
It's a Jekyll and Hyde, this car, isn't it?
It's very composed though. This is not the smoothest of roads. It's got little jinks in it, and this thing is just handling. Oh, a little pop there, and that's what you want.
And it wasn't me, I should add.
We're in Sport Plus now, which, as anyone will know, is where the magic happens.
What do you think of the looks of the car? I mean, like, if you were looking at a Panamera GT63, what do you think of the look of it?
I think if you were looking in that area, then it's fair. But I have to say, I mean, I think to me, I don't like the sort of way that the extra door extends the roofline. I think the two-door is more pure. I think you've got to have it in a sort of slightly interesting colour.
Yeah.
Because if you just go with, I think, silver or grey of this type of car, I think it could look completely dull. Whereas this blue, and I think the green and the yellow, the solar yellow, would look astounding on this car. So I'm not sure if I would immediately jump into the four-door version of this, but I can understand why people would go for it. This is the sort of road that this car loves, because you've got short, squirty sections, then down to very, very tight corners. And that suits this engine perfectly. And obviously me, having just come back from the Pelota course in Italy, means that I'm going a lot quicker than I normally would do. Are you fairly clenched in there?
I'm fairly clenched.
Yes.
I like it.
But I mean, damping is very, very good. This is a properly bumpy road, and we are putting the power down. We're cutting into these corners nice and early. I mean, it's coping with it perfectly. All to the sound of that lovely growl.
Now you see, that's good. It just planted, didn't it?
Yeah, there was not a hint of wheel spin. You got a lovely boost gauge in the centre of the dash as well, which just flies up into the red.
So I think what's really good about this, for those of us who don't have quite an extensive collection of yours, but they want something gorgeous to drive every day, you can get in this thing every day.
Easily.
Just get that pleasure out of it, can't you?
Easily.
So what do you think, like on the watches side of things, what's the kind of the missing bit that you would love to have? What are those sort of grail watches?
There's one grail Patek which I'm waiting for, I'm on the list for. I've always wanted one, and it's so special that I'm actually going to time it with Patek's help to arrive on my 50th birthday year. So that's the 5271, which is a black face grand complication, and it's actually got baguette diamonds all the way around the bezel. That to me, that's the one that I want more than anything. But I don't just want to get it and have it as part of the collection and that's it. I want it to sort of arrive perhaps at a more momentous time in my life. So unusually for me, I've decided with that one, I'm quite happy to wait for it.
There seems to be a new colour that's come about, which is salmon pink.
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a sucker for that.
I was with a chum of mine recently, and we were out to dinner, and he had this just stunning watch up his wrist. I said, what is that? And he had just got it. Now I can't remember the model number, but it's Patek Philippe.
Yep.
Salmon dial.
Yep. Was it a brown strap?
On a brown strap.
Was it a grand complication?
It was platinum.
Yeah. Okay. The watch that you are describing there is the 5270
right.
P.
Yeah.
And it is epic. The 5271, the Grail watch, is the same watch but just with a black face and with diamonds. But it's the same complication.
AP have just done a Royal Oak, haven't they? Is it the 41mm Royal Oak? They put that salmon dial on it.
Oh, have they?
Do you know
I've not
what? I was
seen
actually talking to a chap the other day that phoned me up, who's a bit of a watch guy. He's getting one, but it's such a scarce watch that he was being interviewed by AP to check he was suitable for it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, because it makes it feel even more special.
It's the same with cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same in the Porsches and the Ferraris that you'd have got. And,
very similar, yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, in fact, the Rolex sports, stainless steel sports model world is very similar to Porsche and for Ferrari. You have to go on lists, you have to be chosen, you have to sort of like prove your worth before you actually get offered them. Very, very similar worlds. I was prepared to be a little bit negative about this car just because I've never really liked the shape and I don't understand the point of it. But I have to say, I mean, it's a hell of a machine. It's very, very competent. Grip levels are high once these sort of tyres warm up a bit. It's handling these pretty tight, quite wet Scottish roads really well. And the noise is obviously something that's addictive. And actually, I'm not really a sort of like fancy sort of Fast and Furious paint jobby type person, but the matte blue on this car does look stunning.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Thanks for watching this episode on the Mercedes AMG GT63S with my friend here, Jonathan from Edinburgh Watch Company. Please subscribe, leave comments and likes. We read them all and we reply to most of them. And there'll be another Car Guys episode along next week.
And thank you very much for having me. It's been great fun.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Pleasure. It's been good fun in this car, isn't it?